That's what professional boxing is about. You gotta be clever, you gotta be smart, and not get hit.
It's what he does that makes him a hero, and what the other fella doesn't do that makes him a coward. It's just as simple.
You could hit him, he can't hit you. That's what the science of boxing is all about.
Welcome to our live broadcast dedicated to memory of Cus DAmato. I'm going to introduce you Avi Nardia, researcher of martial arts and founder of Kapap system. Hello, Mr. Nardia.
As you know, our main topic is gonna be about Cus DAmato, the great trainer of Mike Tyson, and not only the Mike Tyson, he had brought up 3 world champions.
There's no doubt that he was a character, mostly because he go also against the Boxing Association, so that means a lot. Mostly in the old days when I am sure it was like much more powerful as a union and, forcing people to do what they want. And he had the guts to stand for another thing. So he was a character, and he did a lot of interesting things, and he had a great student. One thing that catch me, it was that he had a school, and he always said that he's waiting for the next champion to step in. And once he recognized the material to be a champion, he could work with it. And a lot of time I explain to people that martial art means art, and normal artist, he work with a stone, and the stone don't move, and the stone don't have any character. We create a character for the stone. With the human, we get a human that is like a stone or a wood, and we have to curve that stone and create a personality to this stone and create some things in this stone. And I think that also you could see that once Mike Tyson lost him, Mike Tyson is out of the business. And Mike Tyson could never win again. He had to bite or do things that are completely not respected, but to do it. And this is many times when I tell my students or friends as a coach, it's actually a coach, or what people call a master, is a master of teaching. We're not master ninja. You cannot attack me with a knife and I block. But I have the talent to see a person and to see this person in another 10 years. And I have the talent to see this person quality, and I know that with this quality, I can make him a champion, or I can make him to do things. Even Constantine, he was not a champion himself, but he had the talent to create a champion. So many of my students, they will never be a champion, but I try to deliver them the knowledge that I want to deliver them. So that part that he always waited only for the champion was a little bit, okay, I can understand it because they are into the sport and I'm into the life. I'm not into the sport. The sport is only one part of the life, and I prefer to create good people through the sport.
The reason is, and Mike Tyson many times told that the only reason why he became a champion of the heavyweight, it's because he had Cus DAmato, and he did everything that he told him. And this is very interesting because sometimes Mike Tyson said that sometimes he said me very strange things, and I was thinking like, what is this? Why do I have to do it? But anyway, he did it, and after he won. And he doesn't understand how it worked. So this is like phenomenon of Cus DAmato. He knew what to do to his students. And I know that you also know how the boxing works and the training of the boxing, and of course you know Cus DAmato. So tell me please, what do you personally admire in the Cus DAmato personality?
I think as a lot of coaches, people don't see the 3 stages. They see only one stage, and this is the tactics. And many people, they teach only tactics. And Tyson, I'm sure that he has no, I would say, is not a sharp pencil to understand more than tactics. But tactic is what you teach to a soldier. You teach soldier basic tactics. After tactics come a strategy. And a strategy, if you translate, it means officer. So it means you need more. You need leadership and some vision. And for example, a strategy will be to cross a river. Now, which tactic you're going to use? Is it a hook? Is it a jab? Or you're going to do jab, jab, and then go to a cross? So this is tactic, and it's the same. I want to cross the river, so I will develop, for example, a boat, or I cross by swim, or I cross with a rope, or with helicopter. But a lot of the people, including the normal student and the normal coach, I think that they are not a strategy people. They are only like tactic. So they know left, right, left, but they don't have a vision about more than this: angles of attack, rhythm, timing. And I think that this is where Tyson stays. He could never be more than that as a coach. Because Amato, for example, he understands tactics, and then he understands the jab is a technique, rhythm, if it's jab, jab, if it's a jab power, jab soft, if all of this is a different combination. So he's a strategy person. And he understands that if I want to cross the river, I can swim, I can do it with helicopter, I can do it with a boat. And the last, that most of the coach that getting to this strategy level don't have any head. It's a planner. And in the army, we have the 3 stage. Tactic, it's for the planner. A strategy is for the normal officer. And then you have a planner. Plan is for the big general. So you can, it's not only to shoot all your ammo, is where I find new ammo. So I have to get ammo. When we are break from the fight, where we getting the food? We need something to sleep. We need new clothes. So now you start to think like a general, because it's not only the fight, it's not only the tactic of the fight. A soldier needs to eat, a soldier needs vacation, and now you have to have a big plan. And I think that people like Cus DAmato, they are a planner level, and that's the highest level that I see it in the martial art. That I say, oh, okay, he's a great tactic, basic person, but all the tactics can work and not work. For example, if I teach tactic to swim in the river, and now the flow of the river is too much, you will not be able to make it. A person that knows strategy have more knowledge, but a person that have a plan, he can see you in another 10 years. He don't see you just that you know jab cross, and then this teacher will teach you tactic and timing and maybe nutrition and behavior. And this is why when he see everything, he can tell you before you fight, you just do this. You just keep jabbing the guy. You just do this. You just, and for example, he creates his own style, which we call it the peekaboo. And the peekaboo, again, the hands are here. Now, anybody that fights with knife, we know not to put their hands out because you will cut them. So our hands are here. And this is very interesting because, again, a lot of people attacking because of the peekaboo, but the peekaboo work also about hypnosis because, you know, two, and I move this. So it looks like an Indian dance, you know, and you say, what's going here, you know? So, you know, I do it with a knife. I sometimes take my knife and I do what we call the U. I move my knife like this, but my body, so your eyes have a reflex to catch that thing that is moving. And when you do this, it looks like an Indian movie, and the moment that you lose your concentration, you get hit. Now, another thing that I think that Mike Tyson is very famous for this, but I'm sure he picked it up from his coach. And he says that everyone has a plan until they get hit. So I think that Cus DAmato was a very high-level coach because he had a plan. And that's why when I read about him, he said, I'm sitting in the dojo waiting to the next champion to step in. Because he could see that everyone is a rotten tomato. And you look, and Cus DAmato, he just had this talent. I don't know if he studied, because in some way you have to have a talent. And some people might, like Tyson, be a talent to fight, but they will not be a talent to teach. And Cus DAmato maybe didn't have the talent to be a champion. And his boxing career is very minimal. He did a lot of boxing career as a coach, but not as a competitor. He injured very fast, and very fast he went out of competition style. But I think that his desire maybe to be a champion, he knew what you need to be a champion. And sometimes you might be on a wheelchair, handicapped, but you have the will to be a champion, so you can be a great coach. Because you know how to deliver that wish to other people. And this is very important and talent that he had.
If we talk about Cus DAmato and Mike Tyson and other his students, we know that they had very strong relation between each other, because as we know, Mike Tyson was his like a son, and he lived with him, and other students also lived with Cus DAmato. So tell me please, how do you think, why and how do you think is it important to have like this connection between the coach and his students?
Oh, that's a tough question. When I was young, yes. In my age, no.
If we talk about the situation exactly between Cus DAmato and Mike Tyson, how do you think, did it help to him that he was like his son, and he lived with Cus DAmato, and Cus DAmato always told him what to do in the morning, in the evening, every time. So he was like his father. So if we take this situation that happened actually with Mike Tyson, so how do you think, could he become champion of the world if he wasn't in this situation?
First, I think that yes, because a lot of champions don't live with their master. But 50% yes and 50% no. For example, in Japan, it was very common, and I lived in the dojo, and the teacher lived in the dojo, and it was very common that students sometimes stay, or guest student, and they stay. And I think this is very important in martial arts too. The story with Tyson, I think that maybe if Tyson himself will not getting more attachment with Cus DAmato, maybe he will not be a champion. Because maybe if you don't have this kind of discipline from the morning to the night, why you didn't come yesterday to the training? Oh, I met a girl, or I was there, and things like that. So I think in his case, that might be the solution, to build up more this kind of relationship. And I know it from even friends that teaching shooting, that some of the students, they coming to the house and they are like a part of the family. So, in that case, it worked very good. And the thing that I like about this, that Tyson appreciate and thank for that situation. And I think that also Cus DAmato like him because who he is, not because he's a champion. And he knew that maybe Tyson can do better in his life than just become a criminal, to become a champion and change his life and make something completely different from his life. And many times this is very sad, and this is why in martial art we say way, martial art way, or the do, karate do, judo, the do. We try to teach people the way, the path. And I think that Cus DAmato gives Mike Tyson the right path. Some people, they don't have this border, and this is why I can understand why Cus DAmato as a coach wants to see him from the morning. So you stay with me. And I tell you what to do. I tell you what to eat. I tell you what to dress. Don't talk. And we call it in martial arts show. The time that you are my soldier. You shut up and you do what I tell you to do. That's the time, show, have, read. So the time I develop you as a show, as a soldier, just shut up and keep shooting, you follow.
As you know, Tom Petty and Mike Tyson, they also every time speak that Peekaboo has a lot of secrets that we even cannot share.
I think Peekaboo is a little bit like this, but if you see Mike Tyson, he take it more. So it helps you to load the punch. And also, if my hands are like this, so there's a dead spot over here. It's like this. You see, so there's a dead spot over here that my hand, mostly with a big glove, they're blocking some spot here. So if you angle yourself in a way, this guy cannot see where's your hand. So just by doing your hand a little bit like this or like this, I don't see your left hand. So what happened when you punch, it's a surprise. And the action is always faster than the reaction. So I'm getting hit before I have the time to react for your surprise. And this is why Tyson became angle. I think he takes the Peekaboo to a different level than his coach. And it was nice because I looked, for example, for his coach sparring with, I think it was Holyfield when he's old. And then boom, he punched him in the nose. And it's again, he came from the blind spot. He didn't do peekaboo. He came from the blind spot. You have blind spots, same like in a car. When suddenly you want to take left and suddenly a car passing, you don't see it because it's the blind spot. And I think that the peekaboo is more sophisticated than people understand it, because I, as a swordman, I hide behind the sword. As a knifeman, I hide behind the knife. I'm hiding. The knife is my shield. Unless I have a shield, the knife or the sword is my shield. That's how I shield myself. And I think that the peekaboo is some kind of shielding yourself. I think that Cus DAmato, I wish he was alive, because as a coach, he will be definitely somebody I want to meet. I don't need to many times I see it also in martial art that people think that they can study only by doing. And you can study also by talking to another coach and to understand his philosophy, his point of view. And by understanding the point of view, you're understanding the planning. And that's why many times when I teach students and I start to talk and they say, oh, it's boring. But they want to do push-ups. They want to hit the bag. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is the tactic. What about the strategy and what about the planning? So that's why it's very interesting to me to meet all coaches and to understand their method. And definitely he is the guy that I would love to meet.
Mike Tyson, Tom Petty, and other his students, everybody say that he had some paranormal abilities. For example, he could think something. In the book, it's written that he could look from the window, watch the people outside, and he could say to think this guy is gonna do this way, this guy is gonna do this way. And it's about 1-2 minutes and they start to do everything that he said in thinking. So this is very paranormal abilities and many others also. So tell me please, how do you think? What is it? What is psychology or some mystic? How Cus DAmato did it?
Oh, to be honest, again, you remind me a lot of things, because I used to work as a barman part-time in Japan. First I was as a bouncer, and because I beat up too many people, there was a time police looked for me, so I slowed down. And in that time when I was a barman, when I saw a woman coming into the bar and go someplace, and then I see a man, I would make a bet with my friend, this woman will go with that man in 10 minutes, in 20 minutes, because you can read the body language. Now, this is where I say, first, there is a parapsychology that you cannot explain. Second is the ability to read the body language, also of your object. For example, I teach my students that no matter what, they keep the same pace. Even if you get punched and you lost all your air, you stay like this, because that will take the confidence from the other object. don't show. When the guy punch you, don't show the pain because that trigger me to give you more. So I'm sure this quality of him to spot people give him a lot, like how to put a mask and not to let people to read you. Now, I tell you a story not about Cus DAmato, about the ex-partner of me that he teach in Schiphol airport security. And he teach them in two stages. The first stage, he call it spotter. How security people that are even undercover can spot people and to prevent what going to be happen. Because, you know, if the guy want to do many times things, you will see it in his behavior. So there is a part that you can teach and you can study. Of course, Cus DAmato just had this talent that he could look, observe, and even create techniques. I can understand, not because I know him, I don't know the guy at all, but I'm also doing similar things. That's what I'm trying to maybe get into his mind by my mind. And many times people will tell you, oh, Avi Nardia, he can see a waiter going with a tray and he will make a technique from this. And I think that he had this kind of vision that I said that a lot of coaches don't have. And this is a vision to read body language, and by that you can read the intent. And it's very, very important. Definitely teaching people body language, and this is a part of things that I think Cus DAmato had a great ability. And I think that the peekaboo, for example, he made the style. So it's very important to study and to try to find out more about the style, because I think it will develop the boxing maybe to another level if people will more research. But, you know, many times people have one doctrine that his father teach him boxing or is a coach. And I think that Cus DAmato, and also when I see Tyson with the angle, it reminds me so. So I would love to know really what stands behind it, you know.
How could you assess the contribution of Cus DAmato in the world?
I think that you don't need my credit or my assess. I think that putting 3 champions, very famous, great fighters, he assessed himself in the best way. And I think that you don't need from nobody like me or in my level to give him a credit or clap for him, you know. He did what he did, and nobody can ever take it away from him. And it's the same like Tyson said. Everyone has a plan until they get hit, and Cus DAmato already got hit. He showed that what he did worked. And I think that Cus DAmato had the ability to read the fight and to read the surprise, and to make sure that Tyson had a very, very good guard. Very good command, very good guard. And you cannot get it. This is why I love also the shield that I told you, because once you get a good guard, you don't need to worry. You are behind a defense. And that's why I don't need to assess him. He already assessed himself. He stepped on a ring that we can only talk. He already put a proof. So people can talk from tomorrow to next year, but he don't need our assess. He already the best. He put 3 champions. So it's not a coincidence. He put champions. So he have the ability, and I'm sure he teach also great other boxers. So this guy don't need assess. He assess himself the best.
Thank you, Mr. Nardia, that you found the time to speak with me.
That's what professional boxing is about. You gotta be clever, you gotta be smart, and not get hit.
It's what he does that makes him a hero, and what the other fella doesn't do that makes him a coward. It's just as simple.
You could hit him, he can't hit you. That's what the science of boxing is all about.